They say life has a strange way of revealing who we truly are. It isn't during the days of comfort or abundance that our character is tested. It is during the storms when the skies are dark, our pockets are empty, and every step feels heavier than the last. On one ordinary rainy morning in Lagos, a simple gray umbrella became the symbol of something far greater than protection from the rain. It became a reminder that kindness still exists, even in the hardest of times. Adaeze woke before sunrise to the familiar sound of raindrops pounding against the rusty roof of her tiny apartment. She counted the little money left in her purse. It wasn't enough to solve her problems. It was barely enough to survive the week. Rent was due. Food was running low. Transportation alone would consume almost everything she had. Many people in her situation would think only about themselves. No one would blame them. But Adaeze carried something more valuable than money. She carried compassion as she walked toward the crowded bus stop beneath her old gray umbrella. She noticed people rushing from one place to another. Faces were filled with worry. Some complained about the rain. Others were angry at the traffic. Everyone seemed trapped inside their own struggles. Then she saw an elderly woman standing alone. Her clothes were soaked. Her hands trembled from the cold. People passed by without even making eye contact, as though she had become invisible. Adaeze didn't hesitate. She quietly walked over, stretched her umbrella to cover both of them, and smiled. No speeches, no expectation of reward, just one simple act of kindness. The old woman's face lit up with relief. She whispered a heartfelt prayer for the young stranger who had chosen compassion over convenience. Sometimes, the greatest gift we can offer another person is simply to remind them that they are seen. The journey continued, and the rain only grew heavier. At another bus stop, Adaeze noticed a young schoolboy desperately trying to shield his books beneath his thin school uniform. The poor boy shivered as cold rain soaked every part of his body. Those books represented his future. Losing them would mean losing weeks of hard work. Without thinking twice, Adaeze bent down and placed the umbrella over him instead. She walked through the rain herself while the boy remained dry. His smile said more than words ever could. In that moment, she protected more than books. She protected hope. By the time Adaeze arrived at work, she was completely drenched. Water dripped from her clothes onto the office floor. Instead of receiving understanding, she was greeted with criticism. Her supervisor scolded her for arriving late. None of her coworkers knew why she had been delayed. None of them had witnessed the kindness she had shown along the way. Sometimes, doing the right thing comes with consequences. Sometimes kindness is misunderstood. Yet true kindness continues anyway. After work, the storm refused to give up. Floodwater covered parts of the road, making it difficult for people to cross safely. Adaeze spotted a heavily pregnant woman standing helplessly at the roadside. Cars sped past without slowing down. She immediately walked over, offered her arm, and carefully helped the woman across the flooded street. A commercial bus driver who witnessed the scene stopped his vehicle and patiently waited instead of rushing through the water. Soon, the conductor stepped down to assist an elderly passenger onto the bus. Without realizing it, Adaze's kindness had already begun multiplying. One compassionate decision inspired another, and another after that. Further down the road, a fruit seller who had watched everything called Adaeze over. He handed her a fresh orange and refused to accept payment. She smiled with gratitude, but before taking a second bite, she noticed two hungry children sitting quietly beneath a leaking shop roof. Their eyes followed the fruit with silent longing. Adaeze broke the orange into pieces and shared it with them. The children laughed with genuine happiness. It wasn't a feast. It wasn't expensive. But for a few precious moments, joy replaced hunger. That is the quiet power of generosity. As darkness settled over the city, Adaeze continued her journey home. She was exhausted. Her feet ached. Her stomach was empty. She had spent the entire day giving away comfort while receiving very little in return. Then, just as she thought the day couldn't become any harder, a speed-eating motorcycle splashed muddy water all over her clothes. She closed her eyes, took a deep breath, and simply kept walking. Bitterness never entered her heart. Moments later, a young shop owner who had seen everything rushed outside with a clean towel. "Please," he said with a smile. "You need this more than I do." Adaeze accepted it with quiet gratitude. Actually, that moment she realized something important. Kindness has a way of traveling in circles. What you give to the world often finds its way back, sometimes through complete strangers. The next morning brought an unexpected surprise. The elderly woman she had helped during the rain returned, this time accompanied by her grandson. He introduced himself and explained that he managed a growing company searching for trustworthy employees. His grandmother had spoken endlessly about the young woman with the gray umbrella, who had helped without expecting anything in return. Character, he said, was far more valuable than experience. He invited Adaeze for an interview. She arrived with simple clothes, humble confidence, and a heart that had already passed life's greatest test. During the interview, they asked about her qualifications. She answered honestly, but what truly impressed them wasn't written on her resume. It was written in the lives she had quietly touched. Days later, Adaeze received the phone call that changed everything. She had been offered the job. Months passed and life slowly became easier. She moved into a better apartment. She could finally buy groceries without counting every coin. She smiled more often. Yet success never erased the memory of those rainy days. She never forgot what it felt like to stand in the storm with only one worn-out gray umbrella. So, whenever heavy rain returned to Lagos, Adaeze visited local markets and bought as many umbrellas as she could afford. She handed them to school children, elderly people, street hawkers, and anyone caught helpless beneath the rain. Many never learned her name. They only remembered the woman whose kindness arrived exactly when they needed it most. The truth is, kindness doesn't always change the whole world overnight, but it can completely change someone's world in a single moment. A smile can restore hope. A helping hand can lift a heavy burden. A small sacrifice can become another person's miracle. The next time life gives you the opportunity to help someone, don't ignore it because it seems too small. The smallest acts of kindness often create the greatest ripples. Just like Adaeze's old gray umbrella, your compassion may become the shelter that carries someone safely through the storm. Because at the end of the day, people may forget your words, they may forget your success, they may even forget your name. But they will never forget how you made them feel when the rain was falling and you chose to stand beside them instead of walking away.